In the house too, we have the convener, the brain behind, the master planner of this whole event, Mr. Stephen Folsom. Please do it well. With him is also his beautiful, lovely, adoring, precious wife, Mrs. Folsom. In the house too are two handsome gentlemen who are the entourage of His Royal Majesty Okyeame Kwame. Is the So he's going to introduce them when he steps forward. In the house also are, I don't know how to call him, but he's a superstar. He's a gentleman on his own level. He controls the streets. You see where you are, Charlie? He controls the streets here. If you say, hey, it happens here. His name is Postable. You know, there are some people, me like this, normally some girls call me Italod, Ahuniamano. But there are some people, their specialty is sugar. And they are called Sugar Lord. And he's special in his own way. Look, I know myself. I've witnessed a group of, is it 300 girls, Charlie? What's happening? And in a group, Charlie. Please give it up to Sugar Lord. And the diva herself, sweet special one. Kri8 more diva. Kri8 Ohima. Kri8 Cardi B. Even Maria, can you give it up to even Maria? Seated by her is a younger sister, Ifya Vibes. They came with the versatile vibes. In the house we have Church Boy. Church Boy, can you give it up for him? The dance hall special. Then we have some rap baddest one in the house. You know, his name is Camelo. I don't want to do too much introduction of him because he's going to spoil the stage today, and you will see him for yourself. It has also in the house is some special lady, Charlie. Pacho, me pese mbo musa sana me body. So that me say can everybody do. That's never for you, Millicent. And our special communication person in the house, beautiful, adorable Jessica. I wish I'm not married. Like, I'm a Muslim. I have like up to 4 options. Please, my name is Okyeame Abbas, and you can call me Abdel Moise Abbas. I represent Kri8. Thank you very much. We're about to start. We're about to start the entire show. I have the singular honor to call on the CEO of Kri8. I would like to invite Mr. Stephen Folsom to give us our welcome address.
And soon to be Alhaji Moise Abbas. Okyeame Kwame. Nana Unkwaso. And all of you here present, I'm so happy for you to be here. It was a short notice. This whole program has been put together within about 3 days. And clap for yourselves, you are here. I recognize everyone here as part of the Kri8 family. Kri8 Concept is a company that has been established to nurture talents of the young ones in this country and probably even the older ones. You know, creating jobs through talent development and also shaping up the mindset of our people through the creative arts. I thought you were going to clap to that. The best way to shape up the mindset of people is through the creative arts. I know this country is faced with a whole lot of challenges, from sanitation to indiscipline and all that. And I wish our leaders will copy or learn from the Western world, especially America. You know, the entire America was built in Hollywood. Almost everything America wants to do, they take it to Hollywood first. They want to go to space, they take it to Hollywood. Every movie you see from Hollywood, it means America wants to do that thing. Be it a sci-fi movie and whatever, they take it there first. And when we are around the 1980s, when the tobacco company wanted to promote the smoking of cigarettes, they did it through the movie industry. So you could see every James Bond movie, James Bond will be smoking. It was a careful and well-planned, orchestrated, something to get people to smoke. Just in the 20s, when the Western world wants to introduce same-sex marriages to us, if you are very observant, you will notice that almost every movie or every series that is coming lately, there's at least one same-sex relationship in there, from Empire to every one of them. Just mention any movie that is new, and you will see a same-sex relationship in there. Maybe we haven't noticed, but being very observant, I have noticed. And if Ghana wants to solve sanitation problem in this country, where do you think such a message should be put? A creative art. Every movie, it should be there. Every music, it should be there. It doesn't celebrate music. We celebrate popularity and fame. And I will state this here, I know there are media men around, which is how come CNN or BBC will list 10 Ghanaian artists 10 artists from Africa, and we may not get any Ghanaian artists in there, which is sad. Because we don't focus on music. We focus on personalities. And out there, they don't know our personalities. So if they are judging the music at BBC, they will not look at any personality. They will look at the music and they will judge it. Ask yourself, will your music stand against the music of Nigeria, against the music of South Africa, against the music of Kenya? Will it stand the test of time if the musicologists sit down and they start analyzing your music? The instrumentation, the vocal prowess, will it stand the judgments of these academies? Will it stand the test of Grammy? You understand what I'm trying to say? Which is what we want to focus on, the music. And not just trending, the music. If you listen, there's a song I love so much. Who will remind me? The White Wedding. White Wedding is my wedding. Can you do something on that for me a little bit? Who can? No, my people should be able to do that because I didn't analyze this out. What failure? Our hand to Musro. Okay, that song is a masterpiece. I think he did it with Efia. And it's just serious. The lyrical content in there. If you haven't listened, go and listen. You see, you are as good a musician according to who you listen to. According to who you listen to, that's what makes you a better musician. If you listen to Pharrell Williams, you realize that you end up doing songs in line with Pharrell Williams. And if you listen to any other musician too, you realize you are doing that. I'm not mentioning anybody's name. Abbas, you'll be in trouble. So, before we welcome the legend, he's ready to talk to us. I want us to listen to a few songs from the people here, the up-and-coming artists, with your permission, Okyeame Kwame, so that we can move on, listen to some music from us. I may call people at random, so everybody here is a musician, I know. So don't be afraid if I call you to come and stand here and sing with the band.
You on Facebook Live, they talk, say you be slave queen from Thailand, but trust me, you never Bangkok. What's up? Hey! Drop on. No go fast.
Yeah, Fina Songs is also here. Fina Songs. Okay, you have opportunity to do this in front of this legend. Okay, you only got one shot. Make it count. You can tell the band. Here you can't be here if you can't do live band, please. If you can't do live band, I'm sorry. It's a requirement. Okay. You can't lower the standards.
My God. gonna make come. It's time. Fight back. Money, 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 have to get come. Wake up, boy, a lazy man. Stop riding in your busy car. Aye, no food for the lazy man. No food for the lazy man. You doesn't go back. Passion by me a little more. Yeah, Femo no go. Aye, Femo no go. Aye, you doesn't go back. Passion by me a little more. Yeah, Femo no go. Aye, Femo no go. When I do lady, don't you ever give up for the lady. Go back on my lady. Oh yeah, yeah, the lady. Back on the lady. Don't you ever give up for the lady. Go back on my lady. Oh yeah, yeah, the lady. Aye, Africa, let's dance. You better come on. Slow motion, we want to wait. Let's stop here, crash in the light. See, see the mom, now we mom. And I had this thing. See the mom, now we mom. And I had this thing. Yeah, they were hard to fight for the paper.
So we are telling them again, yeah. What yo? Right now, just taking on me car. I see the money to come with the dollar. Get all you see the money and the drama. One of them I found this them a liar. Let me now, them never know the story. All of a sudden they was in for the glory. Yeah, and a joke we are joking. So small we know how we can make it. Yeah, yeah. Judge up with your blessings. Judge up with your blessings. Judge up with your blessings. Your blessings. Hey, yo. If you know just boy man never go back. I'm just taking, yeah, yeah. So we are telling them again. Every time we have to do, yo. Every get to never give up. Because every life we want to treat it. Never say anything I go make fight. So people watching and never give up. Yeah. So you want to know, say that. So it's a life for me. So those of us, I go make it. Big up what we go on. Missy yo. Big up all those that we go on. Missy yo now. Big up Okyeame Kwame. Cause you make the place look nice and in a great way, yo. Big up Okyeame Rosa. What people them make the girls so we turn them again. Yo, big up
Oh, it is a show already. It's a show already. Hey,
We need more, we need more, we need more.
exactly.
We need more, we need
Exactly.
more.
Oh, but let's welcome Article 1. Now that the place is heated, you know when you go to church, before the pastor comes to preach, they heat up the place with some worship songs and all that. Now that the place is heated, with a round of applause and then with a standing ovation, let us welcome Okyeame Kwame.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Charlie H. Thank you. Before I even say anything, I'd like to say thank you very much to Mr. Forsen, the Kri8 team, all the media men, up and coming artists, established artists, everybody that is interested in knowledge. So let us all clap for ourselves. Yes. Let's clap for ourselves. It would have been nice for us to introduce everyone, but if we do that, by 2 o'clock, we'll still be sitting here. So I will begin with saying my real name is Kwame Siapel. I was born in 1976, 17th April. Yes, so that means in the next 2 months I'll be 44. Yes. And today we are going to talk about 3 main things. We are going to look at how to build yourself as a brand, as a personal brand, and then how to sustain that brand. and how to use that brand to make money. So these are the three things that we are going to talk about. But before that, let me tell you more about myself. So I was born in a place called Ashtown. Do you have any Osei-Krom people here?
Yeah.
Exactly. I was born in a place called Ashtown, and Ashtown is a place like Adabraka. It's
The marketplace.
yes, and then from Ashtown I moved to Fantino Town, and all these places that I grew up in the Efficaciem type of setting where we have like 50 families in one big house built by some Titi Koko Kri8 that has one toilet and one bath for all the 150 people in that one house.
Abi, you know.
Yes, Efficaciem type of thing. So in that house, there's the hustler that is trying to hustle his things, that his people come there to buy his stuff. We have the sister in the house who is trying to go to London by doing her thing with the burger people in the hood. We have the Kri8 in the house who works maybe at Cocoa Board. That's the whole house, where at the end of the month, they will give the water bill and the light bill too. Then sometimes they take giving girl, then the people are chasing. We have the owner of the house who is like 70-something years old. That is wicked. Even when children are playing ball, this old man would send them to go and catch the ball. They will cut it into two. I don't know if you know that efficacy thing. So growing up, I always felt that my father is an accountant. Why do I have to deal with this? Why do I have to live in a place like this? And then we moved from Ashtown. And we went to Fantino Town, same house, same trouble, same setup, same style. Then I didn't understand. So can't you just save money and build a house so that we can go and live at Asokwa or live in the suburbs or something? So I grew up, I spent all my formative years in Ashtown, Fantino Town, Ija, and between, say, 0 and like 18, I lived from Ashtown to Fantino Town. Now, what I didn't know was that because I lived there and I sold rubber bag when I was 5 years old, I would go to as a market and go and sell rubber bag. I had my own shoe shine box. I made my own shoe shine box. I would go and buy polish, and then on vacation I would go through the neighborhood and shine shoe for coins. So I didn't know that this thing that I thought was disturbing me, that was destroying my swag, was the thing that was going to give me the opportunity to meet a lot of people. So inside that house, I saw many things. And with all the experiences that I was getting, I didn't know I was building my library for one day when I become an artist, that no matter how disconnected I become or I get from the streets, I've had so much knowledge working in the streets from zero that no matter where I get to, whenever I must write a song to touch the hearts of hustlers, like how I used to be, I always know what to say. Thank you. So when you listen to my song also, I'm talking about Okyeame Kwame, Madam Fubia Bomodi, that's a national vibe. Who need bank statement, what imitation, Obefa Berlin, Hamburg, West, no way. Who go to German and Babroni, no way. So I'm talking about all the. So when you listen to my music, apart from the cultural and the poetic and the literature that you find behind, the words that I put in the songs are things that I have experienced myself. And so whenever I do a song like Wara, and I'm talking about the things that this woman has done to me, they are things that I have experienced. And I got the opportunity to experience those things because I was born in the ghetto. So before I even start by trying to teach you branding and using my experiences, I want you to appreciate today that wherever you find yourself, whether you are in a mansion or you are in a Efficaciem or you are sleeping at the market, that is the exact opportunity God is giving you. So that one day, when you grow up or when you develop, no matter what you do, whether you are an accountant or an artist or a doctor, you bring that knowledge to bear. You know, you bring that knowledge to bear. And so I grew up, by the time I was about 10 years old, I lived in a place called Fantino Town. I told you that already. And in my house, we had, there was a nightclub there called Saturday Nightclub. That became Copacabana. So from Monday to Monday, from morning till night, every time they were playing music. So I got the opportunity to listen to music unwillingly every day. And during all that time, that 10 years that I lived in that house, I built my library of music, from Shalama to jazz, to hip-hop, reggae, ragamuffin style, high life, everything. Because every time this nightclub is playing music, and our apartment was immediately above the nightclub. So every night, we were listening to music and developing a library. I used to ask myself, tomorrow I have an exam, I'm unable to sleep. God, why don't you help me move from here as there? Because I needed that experience to be able to become Okyeame Kwame someday.
That's right.
So, appreciate your beginnings. Another thing that I would say about appreciating beginnings, and when I went to high school, I went to CAS. I was very quiet. In fact, have you seen one of those boys that come to school that the headmaster says, who was school? That was me, invisible. I was that guy that the girls, you know, they didn't book me because when, you know that girls, when they are in secondary school, they know which of the boys will become successful. The rich people children. Then all of them will go and be attached to that one. And for us coming from Ashton and Fantino Town, nobody looks at them. It gets to a point that they even want to call you and say, Koton Katia Bra, Koto Yogurt Bra. But me, you will be Ashton, won't you miss Ramsem Koto Yogurt Bra. It's me quiet, but me gangster or what you say. So when ragamuffin style started, I'm talking about early 70s or 80s, because I lived in a nightclub. I was listening to people like Roy, Roy. Long time, Mr. Versatile was born. Why? You remember that style? So this is the style that introduced hip-hop music to New York. And I know for the rappers in here, you might have heard that rap music started in Jamaica from a certain style called Toast, which was developed by DJs or MCs. So whilst the DJ is spinning, it will get to a point where they will loop the dance part, and then the DJ or the MC will be toasting over it. So this style started in Kingston, and then eventually one of them went to New York in the Bronx, and he introduced the style. So with rap music, what will happen is that the MC will be praising the DJ, whilst the DJ is doing the scratch. So my DJ is the best, my DJ is better than the rest DJ, you know. They got to a point where the MC realized that the DJ was getting all the girls. So he started saying that I am the best MC. Then he changed the whole narrative. Then the rapper also became relevant.
That's right.
You know, so that is how rap music started. And around that time, I was born immediately around that time when rap music was starting. Because I lived in a nightclub, I got the opportunity to be hearing this from. So by the time Shabba Ranks had become popular, whenever he sneezed, we will catch the fever. Because every day we are listening to ting-a-ling-a-ling, school girls ring, and five, booyaka, time for Shabba Ranks. You know, so I would go to school, even though I was invisible. I would go to school, and whenever I go to entertainment, they will call me Whiskey to come and rap. So I was in class with Lord Kenya, Swazi B. Swazi B was in another school, but he would come and rap with us. Tebo B, Sassy Pack. Remember Sassy Pack from what's his name? You don't remember Sassy Pack? He did this song where the guy man that sings very high. He sings in a very high. Adani best. Da 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 da. Exactly. You know, so Swazi B, Sassy Pack, we used to do rap competitions together. And because I had lived in a nightclub for all my life, every time we go for the competition, I would come first. Then Lavinci named me the Whiskey because I was very small. It's like, I'm talking about 13, 14, rapping with older people, and I will come first. Why? Because I got the opportunity to live in a nightclub and had sleepless nights. So all these things that I'm telling you, I'm talking about how to build self. Now let me talk about my parents. My mother was a teacher. My father was an accountant, so straight scratchy man who had studied in Italy. Maybe everything must be functional. But because my mother was a teacher, she had understanding in how, children's psychology and what children are supposed to do to be able to grow well. So whilst my father was doing hi, my mother will call you quietly and talk to you to what say, and they will grow. So whilst they got to a point when I started becoming popular, this is somewhere in 1991 or 1990. When I started becoming popular, my father's relatives and my mother's relatives will call my father from Accra and everywhere. Obey women and one money rapper. But my mother always understood. My mother will sit down with my father. So it got to a point where my father got me to tell him that if I am going to allow you to become a musician, then you have to promise me that no matter what, you will go to school. So I made that promise to my father, and then he left me alone. So I told him that one day I will go to school, and then he left me alone. So that is also the combination between my parents. Whilst I was growing up, I got opportunity. My father would take us to the movies. He would take us. My father used to go to work in the evenings. He would drive his taxi. He would take when the taxi driver comes to park the car, he would take them, put me at the front, and then he would go and do some 2 hours for the next day, chop money before he comes to sleep. So I saw that hustle too in the evenings. So whenever I am writing my music, I tap into all these little things. And then apart from that, where do I get my lyrics for talking about love in the way that I get to speak about it, even though I have not experienced it? Because I lived in a house that had 150 people, that had young people. I saw how the women treated them, how some of the women will start with them from SS, and by the time these boys are hustling, trying to go to London to go and hustle, as a richer man will come for her, or how some of these boys will hustle, go to London and come back and come and dump this one because this one is looking more flashy, So I saw all those things growing up, So I want you to appreciate every single place that God puts you. Now let us look at the concept of self. Let's look at the concept of self, because before, the art is an expression of your soul, and your soul is the actual you that lives within your body. So if you do not know who you are inside, it makes it very difficult for you to become an artist, to be able to distinguish yourself. So what is that thing that we call self? Because as an artist, if you are not in touch with yourself, it will be very, very, very difficult for you to decide the path that you are on. So there are so many different types of artistic brands that we have in Ghana. Some of them are like I'll call my style or my type of brand, the cultural style or the corporate style, where when people are looking to take an artist who is not very loud, who understands the way the business world works, and they want me to use for a business or a brand icon, they always come for Okyeame Kwame. And there's a certain reason, because they see me to be like one of them. Where we also have that artist who they just give out energy. Every time you call them, expect an amazing energy. Example of these brands will be Yatawale or Stoneboy or Samini, or Lord Kenya or Okonfo Kwade. Whenever you call that artist, you expect a certain vibe, a certain energy, so, and then also we have another type of artist. That artist, whenever you hear that artist name, you expect like something that is really, really, really different. Example of such an artist will be what's the name of that artist with the yellow hair? He's a Ghana boy. Darko Vibes. Because every time you see a Darko Vibe video, you feel that he's just different. Meboa. Or Joey B. Whenever you see a Joey B video, you hear a Joey B song, you feel that this artist is different. Now, there's a new artist called Pion. Obosum Pion. You can see that the young man is just different. And whenever you hear an artist like Daddy Lumba, you think of melodies, you think of some controversy, you think of love, you think of depth, you know. So every artist who has been able to distinguish himself as a major artist like Sack, whenever you hear Sack, you think of success because he can't stop. This young man is always on the move to do the next thing. So if you are here as an artist and you are going to become successful, because everybody in Ghana or everybody in the world, God has given a certain level of talent for that person to become great. So the next question is, how do you distinguish yourself from everybody who has examples of what you have so that people will see you? Because resources are limited. So it comes back to the question of self. So as an artist, when you are building your brand, when you sit down with your manager or the people that you are working with, the question that you need to ask yourself is, how do we position to become different from everybody else who is doing something similar to what we are doing? That's the question that you need to ask. And always, I could be wrong, but for me, this is what works for me. Always, the thing that works is that when you go inside yourself and say, me tikwi pa, me pa mamre, enwasem, me pesem shaking tea, me pe beats, me do Ghana, me do Africa. And can we build my brand upon the cultural vibe? Me pe reggae, me pe red, gold, green, me pe dancehall, me were dreadlocks, me African, me feel black nobility, me pe black power. So can we build my vibe around the reggae conscious vibe? What I say, me a cool guy, me was swag, me pe hip hop, me pe rap, me pe urban. So can we build my brand around the hip hop urban style? Because if you do not decide to do one thing, you are going to begin to try to grab onto everything, and then nobody will ever see you. Because you know it is really expensive to shoot one music video. So if the whole year you are going to spend say 10,000 or 20,000 on shooting one music video, you must make sure that the elements that you put in that music video explicitly depict exactly who you are. Because if people do not find you to be different, if they don't find you to be distinctive, they will not pay money to see you. Because everybody can put a CD in and listen to music in their homes. But what is that one thing that will let people at home feel that your vibe so much that whenever they mention your name, people are going into their pockets? It's when you have been able to identify yourself as a unique individual. Thank you. As a unique individual. So when I started rapping, I remember you want to think that, yeah, me is special. But as I grew up, I realized that it is not special. It is different. You have to be different. So this brings me to the word brand. I know that we all use the word brand. So when we say brand, who can help me with the definition of brand? Okay, I'll go ahead because of time. A brand is something, a totem, a sign, a symbol, a sound that represents something and helps that thing to distinguish itself from all its competitors. So a brand is a sound, a color, a totem, a sign, anything that represents one thing and helps that thing to distinguish itself from every other thing. So the concept of, thank you. The concept of branding started way back in Egypt. When they developed and businesses became popular, people would have cows or cattle. And how would they know that this cattle belongs to Article 1? Because how would we know that this cattle belongs to Article 1 and not Mr. Forsen? By branding it. So they will put something in fire and brand the thing so that it will have a mark. So when you go to Europe, the synonym for branding is marker. Something that marks something. So once you have marked it as, oh, in Dawson, but the airquay, the Article 1, dear. You better who say Article 1, a stamp, a bomb. Some of the popular brands that we are all used to will be Nike, Coca-Cola, Adidas, Africa, the brand. Adomba Fashion.
Okay.
New York City is a brand. Ghana is a brand. Okay, is a brand. Kri8 is a brand. So now that we know that what a branding is something that marks something, so let us look at a human being. So for a human being to become a brand, we cannot take something and go and mark his forehead and say this is Article 1. So how are we going to make sure that we develop Mr. Article 1 as a brand? So the first one, because brand means mark, the first thing that we will do is to find a logo for Article 1. Is to find a logo. And with the logo, it will do something, or it will help us to know who the image Article 1 is. Now, once we have found the logo, that logo must represent exactly everything that Article 1 is. It's all share. If he's a hot guy, the logo must tell. And how do you use the logo to explain what Article 1 is? If Article 1 is a hot guy and he has a lot of energy, we will see things like red or orange. If he's a powerful guy, you see colors like black. If he wants to say that I'm a cool guy, you see colors like white. If he wants to say I'm fresh, I believe in new start, you see green. You know, so all the colors that God created, they have very, very, very little meanings that you can take and attach to yourself to make you different from everybody else. So in the logo, you see colors. In the logo, you see signs, you see symbols. All those things mean something. Please, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it adding something to what you know already? Because if I don't, and I've failed here, and I've let you all come to sit down under the sun for nothing. Thank you. So beyond the logo, now that is the brand image. Beyond the logo, we must go to something that we call the brand story. The brand story. So my brand story is, I am Okyeame Kwame, born in the 70s, became popular in the 90s in Kumasi, who uses tree to rap, who likes kente in Africa. Meboa. So whenever you come to my social media page, what you are going to see all the time is that these things, I'm always going to post something where I'm wearing kente, I'm wearing African print, I'm wearing at every time. Why? Because when I go inside myself, those are the images that I like. And so I use the images that I like to get all the people who like those things to follow my page and come to my shows. Thank you. So that is my brand story. Your brand story is, where did you come from? I don't know if you've paid attention. For the past 1 week, what has been trending is an interview done with Obosompi Young, telling where he came from. So as an artist, you must always tell your story. There was a rapper somewhere in the 90s called Vanilla Ice. He did this song, Ice, Ice Baby. All right, stop. Go down the break and listen. Ice back with a brand new band. No, Ice became the biggest rapper in the world. Do you know why it got to a point that we couldn't hear from him again? Because he went to lie that he was born in the hood. He was born in the ghetto. And when they found out that he was the son of a rich white man, the whole world, everybody stopped listening to his music. Because his brand story was a lie. So it is very, very important. Your brand story is key. And whenever you get the opportunity to post on social media, which is free, nobody takes money from you, or when graphic showbiz or Nana is interviewing you, you must always make it a point to tell your brand story. Oh, me, when him say me, yeah, me and to scam. When him say me get to. When him say me, it is say. When him say me call cast. When him say me fukumase. No matter what the question is that you are asked, you must make sure that you always link it to your beginning. Because the people that you grew up with, they know who you are. And it is the same people, your family members, people you grew up with in the efficacy, people you went to secondary school with, they are the first point of call when you are about to blow. Because if you will blow, they know. If you won't blow, they know. So immediately you lie about who you are. They feel a big disconnection between the connection that they've had with you from childhood until now, this fake guy that you have become. So, sir, I'll say you're in London. Okay. Period. So this guy who is supposed to go out there and become your hype man, to say, this guy, Charlie, when we're in the secondary school, this is the guy who rap out from morning to the evening. He'll not go do that for you. Why? Because you have already disassociated yourself from him by lying about who you are. Sometimes you are an artist, you are doing your best and you are not blowing, but you don't know why. It is because you have not told your brand story, or you have omitted something from your brand story. That's why when I started this presentation, I started by telling you who I am. So that everything that you hear in my music, things that I'm going to say now, will be in perspective. So beyond the brand story, we go to brand personality. Now, whenever we are three in a room and one leaves, something happens. Two of you will talk about the one that has left. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative.
Once I walk out. Oh, correct.
That is the personality of the person. So your brand personality is determined by what people say about you when you leave the room. So everybody here is a brand. Now what you say? Exactly. So as your brand personality it will be determined by some attributes, and these attributes will be also determined by adjectives. Some adjectives that they are going to use to describe them. So whenever we hear a word like Mercedes-Benz, what comes into your head? Luxury, comfort, expensive. Whenever you hear Shatawale, what comes into your head? Energy, dancehall, ghetto, so gangster. What I say? Those are his brand attributes. So whenever you hear Nikes, what comes into your head? Cool, expensive. What I say? So everybody must build their brand attributes. Now there's something with the media, especially the bloggers. If you do not decide what your brand attributes are, they will decide it for you based on how they see you. So for example, sometimes when the child of a lion is a cub, when a cub is born, it looks like a cat, right? So at the point where it looks like a cat, if you ask a blogger that what is this, the blogger might write that it is a cat, but that thing knows it is a lion. So if you know you are a lion, don't let people decide to brand you as a cat because you are small.
That's right. That's right.
So please, on your social media pages, in the profile point, write who you are. Write who you are. Don't let people decide to tell who you are. So on your Twitter page, when you write about yourself, my name is Amaki Dancehall. I'm a dancehall artist. I represent Ghana, and I am versatile. So that every time a blogger or a media person hears your music and decides to write about you and Googles you and it takes you to Twitter, that blogger will immediately write what you have said about yourself and not what that person is experiencing. So do not leave your attributes in the hands of the media, because they might make you bigger than you think you are. Then people will see a disconnection, or they might make you smaller than who you think you are.
Okay.
No, I was just joking. So please don't let anyone decide your brand attributes for you. Now let us look at brand positioning. So everybody in their minds, we all know that here in the world, when we say, oh, who are the most what is the most respected work in the world? Everybody will say doctors. Why? because life is the most important thing, and these people have the knowledge to make sure that you don't lose it. Meboa. Then we will look at other people, lawyers, carpenters, barbers, musicians, all those types of jobs. We place them on a certain hierarchy in our minds. So in your mind, everyone or everything that you are doing has been positioned, at a certain level. So when you hear, say, Okyeame Kwame, and you hear Okyeame Kwame, and you hear Bob Marley, in your mind, you know that for a reggae artist, Bob Marley is a more important artist than Okyeame Kwame. So all of us, we put everything that we do in steps, in positions in our minds. So as an artist, how do you position yourself to be selected? How do you position yourself as an artist to be selected? By taking all these three things that I've said, your brand position, your brand image, your brand story, and using it to present yourself in such a likable way that people cannot do without finding you. And no matter how small your PR muscle is, whether you have the ability to get Joy FM to play your music, you have the richest producer, or you are just on your own with 400 people on Twitter, it's about presentation. There are people, up and coming artists, that when you go on their Facebook page, the picture there is totally different from the one on Twitter. The picture there is totally different from the one on YouTube. The picture there is totally different from the one. You cannot do that. If you are positioning yourself as a serious artist, you must make sure these things don't cost money. You must make sure that the information on Twitter, the one on Facebook, the one on Instagram, the one on YouTube is the same. It is aligned.
More fire.
Because when someone hears your music, let's say you tweet your music at Sammy and he retweets, and all the thousands of people decide to listen to your music, and they are now they get interested in you, and they want to find out who you are. They go to Twitter, you are a different guy. They go to Facebook, you are a different guy. Then they throw you away serious. So to be able to position yourself as an artist, what is very, very important is the way you present yourself, especially online. And then, where you put your music is also very, very important. Where you put some of the songs that you put out there for free. What type of artwork do you put on the singles that you produce? This single, you have gone to the studio to pay 2,000 cedis to someone to do this single for you. And then when you have the single, you don't pay 500 to a graphic designer to do an artwork for you, or 200, or even 100 if you have friends, to do an artwork for you that is amazing, that is encapsulating. And then all these beautiful songs that you have taken 2 years to produce, to write, you don't have a good artwork for it. And you put that music out there, you have thrown it away. So when someone sees the artwork, he will not even be enticed to go and listen to the music.
At all.
Because don't forget that most of the people that are doing exactly what you are doing, they have a music video. And this music video is playing on Foresight. What you have is an artwork. So make sure that you put your 100 Ghana. So for that week, don't make phone calls. All the money that you are going to use to call Adwa and Kri8, find a graphic designer friend of yours and give him that 100 Ghana and beg him to create something for you. That is how you position yourself, by presenting yourself properly. Thank you. So that is brand positioning. Now, let us look at brand vision. So, as a brand, if you decide that you are going to build a brand, the purpose of building a brand is because you do not have that amount of money to shoot a 20,000 Ghana video and pay Payola another 50,000. There was a time that it used to be like that. When we had Ajikot and Despite, and when we came out, our producers used to promote us. But now, any hobby, people must begin to see your vision before they buy into you. Because if they don't see your vision, they won't waste their 10 minutes or 5 minutes listening to your music, following you on Twitter, retweeting your stuff, because all that is energy, all that costs data, all that costs time. So why would he spend the time following you instead of going to follow, say, Obede? It's exciting. When he goes, he will see inspiration, he will see a nice photo shoot, he will see things that he will not find at your place. So as an up and coming artist, your vision is key. What is your vision? Now, to build your vision, I know that all of us here, we all have great ideas, don't we? Yes, they say that if you are going to look for the best place to find ideas, go to Insamapom. Everybody there had some great thing in their mind that they will do. All of us, Meboa.
Yeah.
So how are you able to communicate that thing in your head? That vision that you have. So that the 200 people who follow you on Twitter will feel the vision so much that they will tell their brothers to follow you. Then that makes it 1,000. And that 1,000 will tell another 1,000. That makes it 10,000. And that 10,000 will tell another. Because the bloggers will tell you that's how they build their fan base. That's how they build their gossip. Yes. So please, share your vision. And to share your vision, there's a very simple trick. There's something called a big idea. Have that big idea, because you know in you, all of us have a spark of God in us. And because God is in us already, we are all great. Everybody on earth is great. The difference between letting people know how you are great and that greatness staying in you is how you activate that God essence in you. So what is your vision? The big idea for me, so I'll tell you my big idea today. My big idea is that 12 years from now, if I say I want to be the president of Ghana, nobody will say, Akwepa, Wanum Tramwana. You know, I want to say that if I say, 10 years from now, if I say, give me the Ministry of Tourism to manage, I want to be the Minister for Tourism. I don't want people to say, so, exactly, so that is my big idea. And because my big idea, because my big idea is in the future, it's not now, because the big idea is in the future, I work backwards from the big idea. So in my head, I'm already 12 years plus 44 now, so that will be like 50 something. And at 50 something, I already know what I want to do. Thank you. And because I know what I want to do, I know some of the things that will not make me do them. One of them is getting a girlfriend with Mirechi. So if I get a girlfriend with Mirechi, and I want to tell the whole Ghana that, look, I'm an honest man. Give me this position. I will not take the money. And already I have 7 girlfriends that everybody knows, and you get the point. Or let's say I've been given something small to do, and I steal all the money. And it comes into the news. Then everybody knows that 12 years from now, when I'm giving even something bigger, and because my big idea is that in the next 12 years, I'll do something greater than what I'm doing now. I try my best in my head not to do all these little things that will destroy that thing. Thank you. So what is your big idea? Your big idea is that you get a Grammy in the next 5 years. Then you should know. You Google top African artists who won a Grammy. The Baba Mo, Youssou N'Dour, Salif Keita, those guys from Africa Bamaso, Angelique Kidjo. Then you go and look at them and see what did they do that made them Angelique Kidjo. You realize that they performed with very great musicians. They had great music teachers. They had great, each one of them plays music, not just create songs. You know, so if your big idea is that you are going to get a Grammy in the next 4 years, then you do exactly what those people did. You enroll in a music class. You do a voice coaching class. You find a voice coach. And whenever you get the opportunity to go online, you don't go and watch porn, because that doesn't have any effect on your music. You go to watch some of the great ones and how they did it.
Rewind.
You know? So if your big idea is to become artist of the year, then you look at some of the artists of the years. What did they do? In that year, they scored 4 hits. They did a social responsibility. they played the most shows, they did that, then you decide to do exactly that or do better than that. So please, for you to be able to communicate your vision, you must make sure that one, you have the vision. And now in your songs, the little songs that you do, I don't know if you remember this Samini song. And then until I hit a Grammy, I'm never gonna stop. The music keeps the music man alive. When you listen to that song, that is Samini sharing his big idea. Because at that time, he wasn't who he is now. But he has a certain idea. He said, Brap enemy, I get some mind. He gets some mind. So in your raps, in your songs, in your hooks, in your intros, put your big ideas there. Put your big ideas in your music, yes. So that the 200 people who listen to that music will know that they are not wasting their time. They are a part of a big thing. But now it looks like a cat. But in the next 2 years, it will be a lion. What you are saying. So please, brand vision. So for the brand attributes, let us look at these 5 things. I've spoken about the brand image, which means get a logo, look good, wear colors that you like, wear colors that makes your soul feel good. I like white. That's why most of my videos, you see me in white. You see most of my things in white. Because when I wear white, I'm smallish. It makes me come out. It makes my dark skin come out. You know. So whatever it is that you like, wear the colors that you like. And do a logo, nice logo. When you have a video, everything that depicts your image, don't take it for granted. Don't take your image for granted. When a graphic designer makes an artwork for you and you think it will not help your music, don't post it. Please. Because you have gone to the studio to pay 500 to do this great song and you let an artwork destroy that song. And that's the record. The song is the core product. What you say? So take your image seriously. Brand image. And then tell your brand story. Please don't be ashamed of where you come from. Because those are the people who will pay money to come and see you first. Where you come from, they are the ones who will tell people that you are great. Even if you are not great, people that you went to kindergarten with will support you everywhere. Meboa. So tell the brand story. Don't lie about who you are. And present yourself as who you want people to see. Who you want people to see you are. Your brand. And then your brand position is that take yourself seriously and present everything. Let most of your things be aligned. Let the colors in your video, the colors on your social media, the words on Twitter, let everything be aligned. And then I spoke about the last thing. Your brand vision is that make sure that people can feel your vision in your music. So these are some of the things that please, as up and coming artists, don't take for granted. Social media is free. But above all these things, the most important thing is the product that you are going to put out. So let us talk about the product. I remember that when around 92 or 91, when I realized that I wanted to become a rapper, I remember that I used to rehearse every day 4 hours. So whenever I wake up, I had finished secondary school. So I wake up, I'll find some cocoa to eat, and then I will rehearse. And when I'm done rehearsing, I'll go to this guy called Saint Kankam. Saint Kankam had just finished Winneba. So I'll go and ask important questions. What is a chord? What makes a chord? I want to do a song to make people cry. What are the chords that I'm supposed to use? What is a melody? How do I create a melody? How do I turn my words into a melody? What is a change? When I do my music, why is it that the song is 4 minutes? It gets to, after the second or the third minute, the song must change and have more and have different things. So that if people are becoming bored with the music, it will be refreshing. What is a change? Why must we play a change? What makes high life music high life? What is in hip hop that makes hip hop? Ask questions. Find people. When you go online, please put some of these questions in there because you are going to create music. Maybe sometimes you are just filled with so much passion of the music that you've been listening to all your life that you don't see the need to ask about more knowledge so that you can create even much more refreshing knowledge after you have released your music. But that is the thing that will give you longevity. Because it is exactly, thank you. It is music that you are going to sell. Because when they say music is an international language, what it means is that a C in my village is a C in China, which is a C in Indonesia. So if you are a musician here and you cannot appreciate a C chord, then it means you are an artist. You are not a musician. Because a musician must be able to manipulate and understand what exactly it is that he is doing. And most of us here go to church, don't we? Yeah. Don't we? And when you go to church, the choir master, all of them are great musicians. They might not be popular. Become his friend. That is the easiest way to learn music for free. Is to join the choir. When you join the choir, you know how to sing parts. You refine your voice. You are going to be singing because you go for choir practice 2 times a week. And then also sing on Sunday. And you will start singing at the back. If your voice is really refreshing and you have the passion that you have come to sit under the sun today, listening to my nonsense, eventually they will bring you forward to sing solos and do duets. Exactly. So please, join the choir. If you don't have a choir in your church, there's a singing band. The guy that plays the keyboard, no matter how obnoxious he is, make sure he's your best friend. I tell you why. Because they possess the power to open all the neurons in your mind for you to be able to understand exactly what you are doing. Don't take it for granted. There's a guy that plays guitar in your neighborhood. You want to win a Grammy in the next 4 years. Become his best friend. Let him teach you. But when I went to tech, I studied account and sociology. But I did everything for the next 2 years, from second year to final year. Every day I'll go to a most department to go and learn guitar. Go and ask. I asked him so many questions that he got to a point of Jimmy Scabra. Or this a backwards, or Okyeame never. Okay, because I want to find out the theory behind that thing that I'm doing. Are you with me? So please, do not just decide to say you are musicians when you don't have any idea of the theory of music. Because that is what is going to make you sound different. Don't forget that we started this with self. So if you go to Apietus and say, Apietus, play the same thing you played for Okyeame for me. And he plays the same chord and he gives you the same sound. And you put your thing on it. Will you sound different from Okyeame? No. But if you are home and you know exactly how that tingling feeling in your head is, and you can create the chords to create that very, very thing, you know that, oh, if I follow this chord, my song will sound like this one. So let me change here small so that it will become different.
Oh, correct. Music teacher.
Thank you. So, are you a music teacher?
No, you.
So, when we listen to some of the young people like your age who are really making it, I'll give you an example of Kwame Eugene, Kidi, Kim Promise.
Your son.
I don't know about Kim Promise because I've never worked with him before. But Kwame Eugene and Kidi, every song that they play, they go on the keyboard and they try to test, even if they are going to let a Kewa produce the song, they know exactly the chords they are singing and why they are singing it. So if they keep hitting and keep hitting and keep hitting, yes, Links Entertainment is an amazing management company. And the boys are talented. What you say? Until you have time now, you are young, you are beautiful. For the next, say, 6 months, spend some time with a musician. Let that musician open you. Buy a music manuscript. Go online. Ask questions. Because the product is music. Anamibwa. The product is music. I remember when we were growing up, they used to teach music for free at secondary school. But in 1981, Chairman Rollins and the World Bank took music out of the curriculum. Because at that time, Ghana, we were going through a long period of famine. So they said, come the monamubo atenteme. And the munyai music in Yana will be ankodo. So the World Bank, under a program called the Structural Adjustment Program, they took out music from the curriculum. So if you take out 1981, ABC now, Ghana is producing lesser quality of musicians, but we are, because of the idea of branding, we are producing much better brands and much better and more exciting artists. But the quality of the music has gone down. Exactly, because the audience are no longer sophisticated, and the people creating the music do not know the music. So please, I tell you, this one I'm going to swear on my life. If you learn how to play an instrument, immediately you learn how to play an instrument, your music will become better than all your peers. You produce your own music, don't you? So some of the up and coming artists that you used to hustle with, where are they? And you became Article 1. Why? Because even though you couldn't pay 2,000 Ghana cedis to Kewa or Apietus, you could produce exactly what you were feeling in your head. Because I wonder, if I am a producer, you came to me and say, produce ingenge, I will not even know what to play. But because when God gives you something, he gives it to you in 360. He gives you all the accompaniments for you to succeed. If God gives you a song called ingenge, he will give you exactly the beat, you that got the ingenge, so that you will be able to make sense out of it for the world to feel it.
That's right.
Thank you. So please, the product is very important. Of course, branding is very, very, very key in everything that you are doing. So the difference between a brand and a product is that a brand has a mark or a name that makes it different and special. But the product, there are so many things that are not brands. A lot of seminar is not a brand. But if you use it to bath, you feel your body is clean. If you use it to wash your hair, you feel that your hair is clean. Because even though nobody has taken a lot of seminar and given it an image and given it a positioning and given it a certain price value, so we don't see it as a brand. But the product a lot of seminar gets something. Just like Gary, it's not a brand, but it gets something. When you are hungry and you get Gary, you feel satisfying. So what I'm trying to say is that get closer. It's not everybody. I learned guitar, applied guitar, classic guitar at the university level for 2 years. I didn't know how to play it. So Jacob said, I'm cursed. I won't know how to play the guitar. But at least I know the science behind it. And I know the contribution of guitar to high life music.
Okyeame Kwame, we are grateful. Oh, let's do it. Don't go yet, please. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Show appreciation to the man. You know how much money you will have to pay to listen to this man? And he said he wants to do this for free. And what you listen to is a masterpiece. You see, this is a great academic work that you've given to us. Oh, a standing ovation is appreciated. Whilst listening to him, I felt I was in the lecture room with this lecturer teaching, and he was speaking truth, he was speaking wisdom. I wish our experienced legends, other legends in the industry will also give out what they have, because the greatest responsibility of every human being is passing on knowledge that he or she have acquired to another. This one will not end. I'm sure we have planned a very new summit within the year, and we'll do it bigger, where we are going to have better conversation with the industry players, where we are not just going to talk, but we will talk and then we are acting. We will talk and then we are acting. And our music industry will go forward. Consciously, we will move Ghana music forward. It's not by accident. Please, you can sit down. It's not by accident. Not by accident. We are going to move Ghana music forward.